Hey YouTube, this is J1P2K or Justin Kinnan, and I've heard the news that one of my favorite trading card games and TV shows is planning to come back for next year, Chaotic, and I am super excited. I am hoping that the card game continues. I'm hoping the show is able to continue on from where it left off on this massive cliffhanger. A good ending, but it left us wanting more because there were still so many more questions that need to be answered. So, as a way to try and help support its comeback, I stopped by one of the card shops, or game shops more likely, that still had some of the old packs from before the show got canceled. So, I'm going to do a pack opening. This is from their series, Zenith of the Hive, the second of their series. The first was Dawn of Perim, and I already bought all those a while back. So, let's see what we got out of these. Pack number 1. Okay, so we have Daja Han. Pretty interesting. Swift 2. For those of you who don't know what Swift is, because you never played the game, Swift is basically where you can move this 2 more times. Yeah. For those of you who've never played Chaotic, think of it as kind of like a card game and chess a bit. That's pretty awesome. Hive ability. He may not be activating Hive, which is a Danian ability. He allows him, that it makes it impossible for him to move, but he gains 10 energy, which can come in handy at some points. I love the tagline at the end of this. Look up, look around, never forget to look down. Underworld nursery rhyme. I just love that. I love kind of singing to it. So let's see what else we got. Balan. Interesting. Sacrifice Balan, activate Hive until end of turn. When Balan is placed in the discard pile, basically the graveyard for Chaotic, for anyone who played a trading card game, you know that the graveyard and the discard pile are the same thing. Infect target uninfected creature. Now, infection is another ability of the Danians, where they can put what's known as a parasite token or an infection token on an opposing creature, which is something they can use to use other abilities, like their Mujiks or other powers. Tagline says here, as his enemies sprout antenna, Balin knew his queen would be proud. I forgot to mention, the thing about these cards is that they have sort of abilities. Courage, power, wisdom, speed, energy, Mujik, and elemental abilities. On here, you can see the heart, the lightning bolt, the eyeball, and arrow. The heart represents courage, the lightning bolt represents power, the eyeball represents wisdom, and the arrow represents speed. So he's got 80 courage, 60 power, 45 wisdom, and 75 speed. You can also see that he had that little 0 there in the center of that, not hexagon, not an octagon, a 7-sided item or shape. That's what's known as a Mujic counter. That's how many powers they have. I'll explain a little more about Mujic later, and the 40 is his energy. But he has no elemental powers because none of the elements are shown here. And this is his code. Do not steal. So Balin, he's got 60 courage, 25 power, 55 wisdom, and 25 speed. He's got 1 Mujic and 55 energy. Song of Resilience. Pretty interesting. So this is a Mujic. Now, as I explained, some creatures have Mujic counters, and these counters are used to, well, activate these cards. There's generic, overworld, Danian, underworld, and Mepedian. later on in the series, there was the Marillions. These are the Danians, the insects. They are the tribes of this world. Generic can be used by anyone, and the other 5 can only be used by those creatures. So, with one count, using one music counter, if target creature has fire, it gains Fireproof 10 until end of turn. If target creature has wind power, it gains Windproof 10. And it's the same thing basically with earth and water. So basically it can be protected by from all the elements. For those basically fireproof, waterproof, earthproof, airproof, which is the wind. That's just a way to kind of get a little extra power boost or energy boost from against another opponent who may have those elements. So we have Hive Boon. Now that's pretty cool. So it does 5 air damage, 5 water damage. If your engaged creature is a Danian, it gains element type Earth until end of turn. So basically, this is good for a Danian deck because if you have a water or air using Danian, well, they can also get Earth powers. This is Debani. This is a rare, and this is a Mepedian. They are lizard creatures that live in the desert. You'll learn a little more about them in the Shifting Sands series, which is next after this. So, it says here, by discarding a music counter, add a music counter to target adjacent creature, which basically means the one next door, or the one next to him. He's also unique. Now, unique cards are basically the game's way of limiting. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, how you can only have 1 or 2 of some cards. Unique means you can only have 1 of these in your deck. At most, you can have 2 of the same card. The tag here reads, I can only open the door to understanding the true mysteries of music. I can force no one to walk through it. Beautiful. Really beautiful. So he has 50 courage, 25 power, 60 wisdom, 55 speed, 2 music counters, and 53 energy. Now this is awesome. I don't think I got this guy. So it's kind of cool to get him. Ribbannon. So you can see that he is one of the first ones to have an element. He can use wind attacks, or air attacks basically. And his ability is invisibility, which is a unique trait to the Mepedians, allowing them to just turn invisible and have an advantage against an opponent. This one is invisibility disarm, which will allow you to kind of disarm your opponent from some equipment that they may have on them. Air 5. That means he can do an additional 5 points of damage when he uses an air attack. When a creature deals damage to itself, that damage is increased by 5. So this is good against creatures that can hurt themselves in some ways. Mainly, I think, from the ability Rush Recklessly. If there's a card in this that has it, I'll explain it to you. So Rabin quickly learned that it's much easier to give orders than to take them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So he's got 55 courage, 55 power, 35 wisdom, and 50 speed, with 1 music counter. And he has 45 energy, and he's a super rare, which is kind of neat. Shudder Ground. So this is an earth attack. And it says here, your engaged creature loses element type earth until end of turn. So this is a risky gamble if you use a creature that only has earth attacks. Honestly, I wouldn't use it unless it was like going to be the end game. But this is pretty good. Elemental Denial. Ooh, this is a good one. this is a card that I really kind of like. It's an Underworld Music. And its ability is, by removing an X number of music counters from an Underworld creature, or creatures, you can remove up to X number of element types from target creature until end of turn. So this can literally take away a creature's ability to fight back, if you know how to use it properly. Some believe that Gothica and nature are I'm not a very good reader, so you're possibly going to realize that when I read the names of the cards. Irreversibly linked, understanding one, rule over the other. Now this is a powerful creature, even if he is just an uncommon. Narfall. Now I can tell you right here and now what his power is without having to read it. Basically, whenever he engages in battle, if the creature has an elemental type like he does with fire, that creature will lose 5 energy for every element. So, against a creature that may have 4 elements, that's 20 points of damage right there, which can really, really do some damage. The breeze suddenly died, as if all hope left the world. Wow. I do love these taglines. Some of them are inspiring, some of them are informative of the world and its lore. Some of them are just really well written. So, 55 courage, 70 power, 45 wisdom, 45 speed, and 45 energy, which can honestly, well, not really make a difference, or make a big difference if you use it right. I'm going to lay these out in case I get doubles. Pack number 2. And right away we got another double. So, Mount Pillar Reservoir. So, Mount Pillar in the game is where the Danians live. They're ants and insects. So, living in a pillar is actually where they live. And there's a very big locations in that, like the reservoir where they get their water. So, initiative is where, so here you see what's kind of called initiative. This is kind of the condition for whoever attacks first. And it's water. Engaged creatures gain fireproof 10, and Danians gain water 5. So 10 points of energy if they face off against a creature with firepower, and if they have water, and if Danians have a water ability, they can deal 5 more damage. And the tag here reads, all Danians know that the reservoir is the wellspring of life. It must be defended to the death. Here's another one. Queen's Gate. So being ants, they have a queen. If I get her card in here, I'll show it. You'll see it. And its initiative is speed. Scouts gain immune to invisibility. So, simply put, if a Danian has invisibility, Danian scouts gain, well, the ability to see them, nullifying whatever power that Mepetian may have had. Did you hear something move? Did you see something move? I think I just touched something moving. Ooh, that's a nice tag. A little creepy, honestly. It's like, I don't feel good, guys. I got a chill in my spine. So this is Dissonance of Distraction. I hope I got that right. So it's Mepetian music, and it says here, target creature loses... Oh. I think it's decomposition of... Loses 30 in the discipline of your choice until end of turn. Now that can make a big difference if you're going to use a certain disability in your deck. Music can suck the spirit to immeasurable depths. And we have another rare, and here's another rare card, Hive Unsung. Now this one costs absolutely 0 Music, so that's pretty useful if you use a Danian deck with Hive ability. Oh, maybe not. Deactivate Hive. You may pay a Music counter when activating Hive Unsung. If you do, return Hive Unsung to your hand when it resolves. So this could actually be useful depending on how you want to use it. There are some Danians that actually have an ability if the Hive ability is deactivated. Some songs leave the audience in silence. Oh wow. Oh wow. Another super rare card. This is so awesome. It's rare to get 2 super rares like this. So, Cascation Rando. Okay, this is kind of interesting. Swap your attack discard pile with your attack deck, then shuffle your attack deck. Wow. Okay, that can come in very handy if you start to run out of attack cards and some of your best ones are already in the discard pile. So it can literally give you the chance to get your good cards back when you need them most, when you're getting low and you're getting just nothing but crud. Though he appears exhausted, he was merely getting his second wind. So this is Fash, and he's one of the cards that has an ability when Hive is deactivated. You can see that he's used his firepower, and it deals with that. Deactivate Hive, Fash gains Fire 5. Hive cannot be acted again this turn. And Hive must be active to deactivate it. So, there you go. So he's got Courage of 60, Power of 70, Wisdom of 40, Speed of 50, 0 Music, and Energy of 55. This is Supercharged Alternate. And this is a very good card. When Supercharged Alternate is revealed, choose a discipline. That's basically the 4 things. Equipped creature gains 100 in the chosen discipline until end of turn. Yeah. This can really boost your power to immense leagues. And this is what's called a battle gear. This is the equip cards from Yu-Gi-Oh! Only you equip them right from the start. And each one has a different power. And when I mentioned his discard ability, or his disarm ability, that's what I mean. Let's say your opponent shows this. Or has this. Well, once he goes in there, he basically nullifies its power. And our last card is another location. Sands of the Unseen. This is based more in the Mapedian's Desert, obviously by Sands and Desert. And its initiative is Courage. Creatures with air gain invisibility strike 10. Now that means a creature with air will be able to deal 10 extra damage on their first attack. Danians seek the answer to Mapedian invisibility, but they realize too late that some secrets should remain mysteries. Now, pack number 3. So, Mount Pillar Reservoir. Oh, Dubin. This is interesting. So, by paying a Music, you can infect an uninfected creature. If your opponent controls an uninfected creature, Dubin gains 5 energy. That kind of seems okay, but something that could have made him even more powerful if it was like for every infected creature, this guy gains 5 energy for each one. Well, here it just says if your opponent controls an uninfected creature. So that just means if so they could have 1 or 100. He would just still gain 5. How does the parasite take control? Who knows? Who cares? So he has a courage of 55, power of 30, wisdom of 60, and speed of 25. 2 music counters and energy of 35. Queen's Gate again. Ah, here it is. Parasite token. Now, if you use the infected ability against an opponent creature, basically this is what you put on them. Serenade of Sub or Rain. This is a tough one. So forgive me if I'm not going to say it. So it's a 2 music counter cost. So you got to have 2 underworld music counters to pay for this. But its ability seems pretty good. Target creature loses 50 in the discipline of your choice until end of turn. Target creature gains 50 in another discipline of your choice until end of turn. You may target the same creature. So this is pretty interesting. With this music counter, there's 3 ways you can easily do this. The most common way would be to lower your opponent's power but increase your own. But you could say lower your speed, increase your courage. And the less likely option, unless you've got some plan for it, is to lower something in your opponent, like say their power, but increase their wisdom. Like you better have a good strategy for why you're increasing that. Sorry. No super rare. But we have Strike 2. Strike 2. Kind of a, well, obvious name when you consider 2 heads. So this one doesn't have a tagline, but he does have firepower. No music. Oh, when Strike 2 gains a music counter, it loses 10 energy until end of turn. That's not really that good. When a creature deals damage to Strike 2, that creature loses 5 energy until end of turn. That kind of makes sense, considering that it's a 2-headed snake with a head on each side. I got a question that I really do not want to ask. But you strike one head, the other head's just going to come around and bite you. So it has a courage of 55, power of 55, wisdom of 70, speed of 35, no music, and 45 energy. This is Male Violent Blast, an attack card again. And it has wind element, but 0 damage. So, its ability is, if the creature has an air, your engaged creature loses element type air until end of turn. Discard an attack card, then draw an attack card. Seems a little too risky. Oh, here's something nice. Overworld Embassy at Mount Pillar. The Overworlders are always trying to make peace with the other tribes except the Underworlders. And this is one of their attempts. So its initiative is Wisdom. The Overworld Embassy at Mount Pillar becomes an activated location. Uninfect all creatures. So this could be a good card to use if you're possibly going up against someone who uses infections, or if you plan on having a strategy to get rid of the infections. This could be good for you. Though adorned with oath and gene plants from his village. One look outside his window reminds Razin that he's far from home. This here is Zhao. So, pretty powerful guy. And he has an element type of earth. And his ability is when Zhao deals earth damage to an uninfected target creature, infect that creature. So that's a really good power if you want to infect creatures. Just give him an earth attack card and boom, infected. If the opposing creature engaged, if the opposing engaged creature is infected, Zhao gains 5 Earth 5. So this is a really good card for a Danian Earth deck. Because the one attack, he infects them. Second attack, he deals extra damage. So that's really good. So he's got 40 courage, 45 power, 60 wisdom, and 25 speed. No music counters, and 45 energy. Alright. Last one. Let's see what we got. Come on. Big money, big money, big money, big money, big money. Come on. Big money. Another Dubin, so... where did I put it? Oh, there he is. Oh, Scout's Monocle. So this is another battle gear card, and his ability is... Engaged creature gains 5 energy and 15 wisdom. If the engaged creature is a scout, it gains pay 1 music counter, turn target face down battle gear face up. So this can allow you to see an opponent's battle gear to find out what it is. If it's something you should really be worried about, or be not worried at all. But it only works for scout creatures. Scout Strike. Attack card. It deals 5 basic damage. Speed check. A stat check speed of 50. Now, there's going to be cards that will work with sort of the disciplines, or the stats. There's challenge, checks, and failures. Failures come in the first set of the Invasion series. But a check is basically if your creature can match what the number says on the card. In this case, speed of 50. Deal 10 damage. If your engaged creature is a scout, look at your opponent's hand. Wow, that is a good way to... That can be a very good card. This is a good card to use if you use a scout card. So that is interesting. So here's another one. Song of Resilience. Gear Grind, an attack card. Pretty not powerful. So 5 base damage. Turn all face-up battle gear face down. That could come in handy maybe, depending on how things work. I mean, if your opponent has a really good battle gear, this could really help you because it will just turn that card face down, nullifying its powers. But that can also hurt you because you gotta turn your cards face down. But, well, with this, it activates basically once. Turn it face up, activates once, maybe never again. So with this and that, you can use that power more than once. Here's another Diabanin. Malevolent Blast. Overworld Embassy at Mount Pillar. And Jaw. So, yeah, that's all of them. That's all the packs. All that they had of Zenith of the Hive. So, I'm glad for you watching this video, and wasting more than 30 minutes of your life doing so. Hashtag chaotic comeback 2020. And yeah, have fun. Let's get chaotic again.